Hello, welcome to The Flick. I am Christy. That is Alonso. That is Matt. We're doing box office on Wednesday because Avengers Infinity War just keeps making money and it keeps breaking records. And so basically we could just talk about it every single day forever and we would still be behind. It just keeps doing that. It's made, as you say, all the money. It's broken all these records. List them off.
It broke an international record without even having opened in China yet.
Right,
apparently.
It opens in China this Friday, right? All these numbers are sans China.
Next Friday.
May 11th.
May 11th.
Oh, yeah, May 11th. Yeah, 2 Fridays from now. Yes, for a while. Why is it opening later in China?
I don't know. I thought they were all about the global day and date, but I guess not.
It made $258 million in the United States alone, which is the biggest weekend ever.
Yes.
And
let's see, largest single Saturday gross, largest single Sunday gross, largest April opening, largest spring opening, widest PG-13 release, and fastest film to 150 million, 200 million, and 250 million.
Right. And
I guess a lot of that just goes with having a gigantic opening weekend.
And it beats the previous largest global opening worldwide, that's every place, by $100 million, and that was the last Fast and Furious movie.
Yes.
That was Fate of the Furious, and that made $541.9 million.
Including China.
Including China, right? Which we know will add like another $100 million onto this at least, and so it's crazy.
Right, and we now have summer movie season starting in April.
Which we kind of did, right? Weren't we sort of creeping earlier in the calendar anyway?
We got into beginning the early May for sure.
Right, but now it's the beginning of April.
And it's the kind of thing where like nothing this weekend is coming out that could possibly top this, right? I mean, this weekend we have Tully coming out, and we have Overboard. We have the Anna Faris remake of Overboard with Eugenio Derbez, which that's not going to unseat this. Interestingly, too,
Bad Samaritan from the makers of Geostorm.
You're excited. I'm seeing it on Thursday, actually.
I might. No, actually, I can't, but maybe Friday
morning. You can't, yeah. We'll play catch up with Bad Samaritan. Is this person related to Bad Grandpa or Bad Santa?
Yeah, all of that.
Bad Teacher. Bad Samaritan learned from Bad Teacher. So Black Panther also got a little boost from this, too, because I guess Black Panther had been down to what, to 8th and is now back up to 5th?
Yeah.
It got a little boost from this as well. So maybe people who couldn't get into Infinity War,
we're like, let's just
I'll just take like 1/5 of that cast and go see Black Panther instead.
And Black Panther comes out on Blu-ray next week?
Already?
I think so.
I think May 8th is what they said. Yeah.
That's really fast, it seems.
That's the window these days, you know.
So Alonso, so Black Panther is in its 11th weekend. Got a spike from the Infinity War opening. It moved back up from 8th to 5th and earned $4.4 million this past weekend also. You were not here, my darling, when we talked about Black Panther.
I was not.
Infinity War.
I was in Dallas for the USA Film Festival.
Do you want to share your thoughts on
Infinity War?
Without spoiling.
Without spoiling.
We have a separate spoiler talk.
I enjoyed it. I liked... I'm sure you guys talked about the fact that, it's not uncommon in the comics, especially once they figured out that, they could pull it off at least once a year and have these sort of dynamic crossover events and the Secret War and the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and let's just jam everybody together. So it was interesting to see somebody try to bring that mentality to the film version of these characters. I suspect that the next year is the only period in which we're ever going to talk about this movie as a discrete entity. That once the next... ETE, yes.
ETE, yes. The other one.
Once Avengers 4 comes out, we will sort of forever group them, by necessity. So, at the moment, it's kind of a dangling participle in a way, I guess. But no, I think it works. I think it's effective, and I think I know what Kevin Feige means when he talks about what's permanent and what's not.
Okay.
But we'll see in a year. But no, I enjoyed it, and I think it aims for the fences and mostly hits it.
And so it does everything that you want it to do. You didn't think it was too big. You
didn't there's a little bit of whiplash-inducing. Meanwhile, in Scotland, kind of cross-cutting. But overall, I thought it was interesting, and it was cool to see disparate corners of the MCU that had never crossed paths before suddenly be standing next to each other. It's like,
Like what? Like who?
Like like Thor and the Guardians.
Yeah, that's like the best part. Thor and Rocket is the best part of it for me.
Yeah.
Thor and all the Guardians, but the idea of like giant Thor and little Rocket.
Anybody
together
in
is great.
Wakanda, you know, like that kind of thing. So I thought that part of it was interesting.
Yes. We're going to do some trailers at some point later on today, but one trailer I noticed that is out is for the Teen Titans Go movie.
Ooh.
Teen Titans Go to the Movies is what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of like their Infinity War.
Okay.
It's in that it's like an animated version of all these superhero characters because they're all dressing
Right.
up as like Cyborg or Superman or
Okay.
there's
That's certainly a lot easier to schedule the production, right?
Right.
Like, you don't actually need to get everybody together and work out their schedules. Like you just need them in the recording booth and get
True.
their voices.
yeah,
Well,
that's
you
coming
know,
out this
and
summer,
I think, I
yes.
mean, on the whole, and I think even fans of the DC movies would agree, the DC animated films have actually been more interesting. You know, the ones that they're mostly. I mean, you and I saw Killing Joke, which was maybe one of the lesser ones.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah,
that
but
was
there
not
are
a good night.
but
for
there are a
us,
lot
no.
of really good ones, and they have tackled those characters in these sort of legendary plots in a way that's been better than a lot of the live action films have been.
So you went and saw it with people, right? Oh no, you went to a screening.
I was
No, he was
I
at
went
the
to the
premiere.
premiere.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the premiere. So what all craziness
The
did they have at
premiere
the
was,
premiere?
you know, they have the giant purple carpet, and you know, it was like the arrivals never ended because they brought literally everybody out onto like 3 risers
Oh my
on the
God.
stage because there's so dang many people at this point who were involved in
Yeah.
that universe, you know. And then Robert Downey Jr. gave a rather lengthy speech, which I'm sure you can see online.
Of course he did.
You know, Kevin Feige and the Russos and the Disney execs and yada yada. But it was nice. It was a cool event. And this is the weird thing. I kept thinking that I was being pranked because whenever I go to the Disney premieres, usually they'll stick me in the mezzanine of the Dolby Theater. So like it's not the floor, like when you see people at the Oscars, they're on the floor. The mezzanine is sort of like that first balcony, but I'll be like kind of 4 or 5 rows back, whatever. They put me front row of the mezzanine, smack in the middle.
Wow.
Which I'm like, this
Fancy pants.
can't be right. Like, because when I went to the premiere of, I guess it was Black Panther, that row was like, you know, Jon Favreau and Taika Waititi and like everybody who had directed an MCU movie, Sean Gunn and stuff, you know, James Gunn rather. And I was like, okay, cool. And now I'm in the middle, like, and Angela Bassett's at the end, which I guess she probably asked for an aisle, so that makes sense. But still, it was like, I thought I was Carrie at the prom. Like something terrible is gonna happen. I can't be here for any good reason.
And then there's always a big soiree afterward.
Yes.
Was that fun?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the food was decent. You know, it's like you can always tell there are people there who are dying to see the cast, and I think the cast sort of makes the briefest of appearances and gets the hell out of there.
I am so out of here.
But,
yeah, like, do they sit through? Do they sit through? Because the screening I went to at the El Capitan, when each new character came up, like everyone went nuts for them. Does the cast stay for the premiere so they can hear themselves get applauded individually?
You know, I don't know. They
Yeah.
get at the, you know, after they were all on the risers, they all got filed into the audience. If they stuck out during the movie, I have no idea.
Yeah, so that was good. I over the weekend I did a few Q&As with the director and the composer of Disobedience.
Yes.
Sebastian Lelio and Matthew Herbert, and they were lovely. And one of the theaters was the ArcLight. And the ArcLight on a Saturday night when there's a big movie like Infinity War opening was nuts. And
I
there
bet.
were like hordes of kids at like 9:30 at night running up and down the stairs and like jacked up on candy. I'm like, it is past your bedtime. Go home.
No, well, I was in Dallas for USA, and the film festival happens at the Angelica, which is like one of the art houses there. But it's one of those art houses where they have like 8 screens, so they will devote a couple to big hits. Avengers was on 2 screens.
There you go.
And so there were some like you could sort of tell who was there for Avengers and who was there to see,
Yes.
you know, like the festival stuff. But they were very enthusiastic.
Yes.